What's going on, everybody? Welcome to After Prison Show, and in this video I've got a lot that we need to talk about. I want to start by sending a very special thank you to everyone who has been tweeting me and messaging me on Instagram, sending me this news story that just happened this morning at about 5:45 a.m. from down in Atlanta. And it's crazy because just yesterday we talked about a story where two guys escaped from a local jail in the same state as where I live. But just this morning, something even more heinous and crazy did occur. And at 5:45 a.m. this morning, there were two prisoners who were being transported on a prison bus going between facilities, where they actually overtook this bus, basically hijacking the bus, overpowering the guards who were on this bus. One of the two prisoners responsible for this was actually able to get the gun from the correctional officer on the bus and actually shot and killed both of these correctional officers. This is a really tragic story. My condolences and the condolences of After Prison Show does go out to the families of these fallen correctional officers, because no matter what, these individuals do have a job to do, and this is just a very tragic situation. Donnie Russell Rowe and Ricky Dubose were the two prisoners who were being transported on this bus, who did escape, and now both of these individuals are on the run right now, and they also have two Glock 40 pistols that they did take from these fallen correctional officers. One of these two prisoners, Donnie Rowe, age 43, serving life without the possibility of parole on charges that included aggravated assault and armed robbery. And the other prisoner, Dubose, only 24 years old. He was set to be released as late as 2034 for armed robbery and other charges. The prisoner Rowe, who was serving the life sentence, he had been locked up since 2002, and the other prisoner, Dubose, he had only been locked up since July of 2015. And completely off topic to all of this, but it is crazy to me reading this, because my original release date was actually supposed to be July 6, 2015. And one of these two prisoners who just executed this heinous escape this morning, Dubose, he actually got locked up in the same month and year as I was originally supposed to be released. After these two prisoners were able to escape from this prison bus and get these weapons after killing these two guards, they then hijacked the car and then fled. And you can probably rest assured that they're going to exhaust every single resource that the state and federal level has to find these individuals. And there is a very good chance that these two individuals could get killed in the process of all of this. And it's a crazy thing to think about, but an individual who is serving life or is serving an extensive amount of time, escape is going to be a very real possibility for what they do try to do. And it's just so damn ironic, because we just talked about this yesterday. I said in yesterday's video, I said I don't think there's anybody who's ever been locked up who hasn't at least contemplated escaping at least like one time throughout the course of the time that they're locked up. And again, what happened this morning with these two officers losing their lives, no matter what the circumstances is, After Prison Show again sends our heartfelt condolences to the families of those fallen officers. You know, I can remember while I was in prison, transportation between prisons is a really dangerous and scary thing to deal with. They load prisoners up on buses at like 3 o'clock in the morning, shackled at their waist with the handcuffs connected right there and feet shackles on as well. But one of the craziest things that I remember personally about being transported from one prison to another, riding on that prison bus, was this one particular time when I knew that the individuals that I was riding on this bus with, these other prisoners, I mean, some of these guys were very, very dangerous dudes who had super crazy charges, murders, rapes, all sorts of crazy charges. And some of these guys were never coming home. They had life sentences, 20, 50 years. And these guys have absolutely nothing to lose. But as I was being loaded up on this bus this one particular time with all of these crazy individuals, I knew these guys were crazy because of the fact that they were talking about the fact that where they were going, how much time they had, and just how dangerous they were with the things that they had did that led them to be in prison in the first place. Because when you're never coming home and when you have a ton of time, there are going to be certain prisoners who have no problem bragging about that, because that's basically like their 15 minutes of fame right there. Yeah, I killed a guy. Shit, I killed a couple of people. And these are the type of individuals that I was riding on this bus with this one particular time. And as this bus began to leave to go from one prison to another, we had to go down this long, dark road. I'm talking about, this was the darkest road. We're on the road at like 3:30 in the morning, and it is absolutely pitch black inside of this bus for at least 5 minutes. Can you imagine being on a prison bus in the middle of the night where you can't see anything? And all I was thinking to myself at that time was, if anything was about to go down, if any of these guys on this bus with me were planning on trying to do something crazy, then this would be the time that they probably would try to do that. And even though it was only for 5 minutes, I swear it felt like forever. I will never forget this for as long as I live. And this was probably one of the most scariest moments that I had from all of the time that I spent locked up myself. But getting back to this story that just happened in Georgia this morning, real quick, I want to add this in there as well. What these two individuals did with the severity and the heinous nature of their escape, with the fact that 2 correctional officers did lose their lives this morning, again, you can rest assured that the state and federal level is going to exhaust every possible avenue to make sure that they capture, if not kill, these 2 individuals in the process. This is a very high profile case that is gaining national exposure through every news source, through every news and media source that there is. And because of that, you can rest assured that whoever does come upon these 2 individuals, killing them is something that they will not hesitate to do. I think to myself that the fact that they had so much time, one of them was never coming home, I think to myself that that obviously is the reason why they would attempt this escape. But how much thought and preparation do you really think they put into this plan? Do you think they probably have outside help? Do you think that they have any sort of idea where they're going to try to flee to? Because if you were to try to contemplate an escape, you would probably want to have a pretty extensive plan in place before doing so. Where are we going? How are we going to get money? How are we going to travel? How are we going to eat? Where are we going to sleep? And the crazy thing about that is that is probably the exact same thing that the feds, the fugitive agents, the police, and every organization that is involved in this manhunt is thinking about right now. Moving on from the story, I do want to take a moment to tell you guys about something that was actually supposed to take place today, and it's actually really ironic as well. But yesterday, Dave did call me in the afternoon or evening time telling me that he did receive all of the mail that I sent to him from everybody who took the time out to write him a letter. And before I go any further, I just want to send a very special thank you to everyone who did take the time out to write to Dave and who just offered him the encouragement and kind words that you guys did. That meant a hell of a lot to me, and I know it meant even more to Dave being in the situation that he's in. But while telling me about the fact that he did receive all of the mail last night, he also told me that he received some legal mail as well. And legal mail is mail that comes from your lawyer or from the courts. Maybe you've got child support, things of that nature. But Dave did tell me that he received a piece of legal mail last night. It was from his lawyer, who informed him that he did have a bond hearing today. I learned about this at about 8 o'clock last night. I mean, this couldn't have came any later notice than that, really. But I was excited. He was super excited as well. And from there, I went into preparation mode, trying to get screenshots and get things printed out that I could take into the courtroom. Because again, it's been my plan to get on the stand and be a character witness for Dave and do everything that I possibly can to ensure that Dave does get a bond and is able to get out of jail. But again, I learned about this at like 8 o'clock last night. I took the time to get everything prepared for this. He told me that the bond hearing was at 10 a.m. this morning. Me and Cody got up early this morning. We got dressed. And that's part of the reason that I'm wearing this shirt in particular in this video, is because I was supposed to wear this to the bond hearing. But the key phrase to all of this is, that's what I was supposed to do. Me and Cody got in the truck this morning. We were on our way to the courts when Dave called me. I couldn't understand why Dave was calling me, because at 3 o'clock this morning, they were supposed to wake him up, take him down to the bullpen, which is the little holding cell that you sit in at the courthouse where you await whatever court that you have for that day. But Dave did call me while we were on our way to court this morning and told me that he was not, in fact, going to a bond hearing. And I couldn't understand this because he had just told me that he got a piece of legal mail last night saying that he had a bond hearing at 10 a.m. this morning. But then he went on to tell me that today was some sort of local election day. How are they going to schedule your bond hearing on a local election day? That doesn't even make sense. That's like scheduling a court date on a Saturday or a Sunday. And from as excited and hopeful as Dave really was yesterday, it really sucked. Learning that today was in fact some sort of local election day, and just hearing how bummed out about all of this he was. I mean, he really was getting his hopes up about this yesterday, and I tried to tell him, I said, look, Dave, we have to go into this situation preparing for the worst, but also hoping for the best at the same time. But again, I'm just confused as to how the hell his bond hearing was scheduled on an election day. Because when you go to court, or when your lawyer goes to court to try to get your bond hearing or court date set up, the first thing that they do when trying to determine what date for the court date or bond hearing or whatever is your lawyer pulls out his phone and he's looking at his little daily planner, and the prosecutor or the Commonwealth attorney is doing the exact same thing. The lawyer will say, well, this date works for me. Prosecutor says, that one's not going to work for me. I'm actually golfing with all of the judges on that day. Well, how about this day? Nope, that date's not going to work for me neither. I'm actually taking a girl on a date. We're actually going to go watch an execution. Fuck kind of date is that? But that's how that goes. They actually go back and forth trying to figure out a good date when they're both available. It's almost kind of like trying to schedule a real date. But you would think in the process of them doing this, they're not going to schedule any kind of court dates on a Saturday or a Sunday. And you would also think that they would have a good idea of when a local freaking election is. I mean, that's just my 2 cents on all of this. And I really want to hear what you guys think about this. Like, how do you schedule a court date on a damn election day? But regardless of all of that, hopefully this issue does get resolved. Again, we were ready to go into this courtroom. I had all of these screenshots with these Free Dave comments and all of these likes on these videos and Free Dave comments as well. And I really felt like we were going to be able to go in there and do some good. We were going to make a video about it. It was really going to be a good day. I wanted to be able to tell you guys, hey, look, we just rescued Dave. Dave's out. Dave's home. Let's welcome Dave back. But unfortunately, we're not able to do that just yet. I do hope, though, that this issue does get resolved and his bond hearing is scheduled for sometime this week, maybe tomorrow, or at least by the end of the week, because he has been waiting forever for this bond hearing. And it just doesn't make sense how he doesn't have a bond, just like yesterday, and so many other motherfuckers who have way more heinous shit do actually have bonds. It does not make any sense to me whatsoever. But with all of that being mentioned, I'll just go ahead and wrap this video up. I did want to give you guys my 2 cents on this crazy story that just happened this morning. There's been a lot of escaping going on lately. There's been a lot of violence going on in general, whether it's dealing with the prisons or the police. I do want to be able to keep you guys in the loop with these crazy prison and crime stories because I feel it has a nice fit here on After Prison Show, and I hope you guys feel the same as well. We've got a ton of great content coming this week, and I want to take a moment to just say thank you to everybody who does rock with the After Prison Show. It means the world to me to have you guys here, and I look forward to being able to entertain, educate, inspire, and motivate all of you on a daily basis. Hey, look, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did so, please leave a like and a comment letting me know exactly what you thought about this. And as always, until next time, please enjoy life, the free world. Never take a moment for granted, and make the most of every day.